else. And so he kept on sending me signs and love songs, like ridiculous. Like I would walk into my house, there would be a love song playing. I would go to the grocery store, there would be a love song. I would go into work, there's no music at work, there would be a love song. So after 3 weeks nonstop, I finally said, fine, I'll talk to you. So I did. And then after thought, there was a free for all. Then the angels and then Michael and Raphael came in. And I have to say, when humanity gets to see spiritual beings and whatnot, I always tell Michael and Raphael, you guys should have a show. Because Michael is like really the straight person, and Raphael teases Michael, unbelievable. And Raphael is a great dancer too, by the way. Great dancer. Nobody, he's like, Isabelle, you always tell me my secret. And Michael, they would have me in stitches. Like sometimes one of my favorite things that the boys did for me was I was really sad because, you know, when you awaken, you get really sad. You get really sad around this 3D construct, right? And I was really sad. And Michael and Raphael, I'm driving to work and they come in and, you know, Raphael's kind of like joking with me and dancing around and it wasn't cheering me up. And then Raphael put Michael, who looks like a Viking, who looks like a god of Thor, okay, to me, looks like this big guy, right? And the next thing I know, Michael is in a disco cowboy outfit. And I busted out laughing. I almost peed my pants because Michael looked like a cat that was just drenched in water, wearing this glitzy cowboy dance outfit. And Raphael is laughing hysterically. And I would not be where I am today without Michael and Raphael. They really helped me so much through the dark souls of the night and everything. And then it was Yeshua and, you know, the Octurians and, you know, the Orions, so, the dragons, the fairies. And you can see I'm very close to my guides. I love them. Like I would not be here where I am today. So it's my honor. It's my honor for them to come on in.
And ours too. Thank you.
So I do want to let you know, Ray reached out to me and they do want to talk about 2026. You guys are all spiritual healers and teachers, and you really are assisting humanity in their awakening process, right? And so they just want to talk to you guys about sharing a couple of perspectives around 2026 because it is the quickening part of our awakening of this planet. So I know you guys are all connected to your teams and get downloads, right? And information. And of course, they're coming through my filter. So they use their words and of course my words and analogies, right? But that's it. That's all
No,
I
it's
wanted to
not.
say.
There's more. Tell us about your book.
Oh, so I wrote 2 books in 2025. I wrote a book for my spiritual teachers and healers. It's a cartoon book. It's called The Mighty Tiny Awakening Handbook. And it's all about, there's cartoon images. I could share my screen if you needed to, but it's all about waking up at 3:33 or getting the song in your head or getting the chills or getting the heat, right? Or all of a sudden you can't eat your favorite foods anymore. Or, you know, you don't think crystals are so crazy anymore and you learn about Reiki. So that Mighty Tiny Awakening Handbook is really just cartoon images and a checklist around what's awakening and the ascension. And then it has a glossary term, right? Because when you awaken, you don't know who the Pleiadians are or the Octurians, or you don't know what a dark soul of the night is, or what does even ascension mean, right? I even put like the Sophia codes because a lot of people are like, what are the Sophia codes? So I put a glossary in the back of the book for the teachers so that they can focus on their mission and assist their students and give their students something to look at. So the feedback has been like, oh my God, I've had such vivid dreams. Oh my God, I wake up at 3:33 or 4:44. Why do I wake up in the middle of the night? You know, uh, oh my God, I'm nauseous. Why am I so nauseous? Oh my God, why am I going to the bathroom so much? And I even have an image of a spirit guide holding toilet paper and the humans in the bathroom, right? Because you purge and you have to go pee a lot, right? And they're always like, oh my God, why am I going pee? Why am I pooping so much? What is going on? So that book is really for the brand new ones awakening. And it was in a session with the Sasanis who said to me, so they had, I have so many spirit projects, but they had said that they wanted me to write this book. And and I didn't. I was on other projects. And they said, Isabelle, you need to write this book. And so the Sasanis, they're like, we feel resistance in you. And I'm like, oh my God. I swear to God, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, just put it on the goddamn whiteboard. I will get to it. I will process this. So I did. I'll let me see. I'll pull it up really quick so you can see what I did for the teachers.
I
I
might have
love
it restricted.
teachers. Yeah. Oh, you have it restricted, honey? All right.
Well, yeah, because that was one of the things we had an issue before earlier in the day. So that was one of the security protocols that I changed to keep people from doing things that we didn't want them to do.
All right. Well, anyways,
You can put it in the chat though, please,
I'll
whenever
put
you.
it in the chat and you can see a couple of pages and pictures. It's not a big deal. It's only for you guys. And if the humans do find it who are newly awakened, that's fine. The other book I wrote was I I started writing it in 2009. And so I put it down during my awakening. So I started to awaken in 2017. And I didn't think I would go back to this book, to be honest with you. But I was in the shower because you know how like they like to talk to you in the shower, right? So I was in the shower and I clearly heard Herrick. And Herrick is one of the characters from the Fae realm of the Light Fae. And I went, Herrick? And he was so loud. Like I got dressed, my hair's wet. I threw open the laptop and I just channeled, right? I just channeled his message. And it's in the book almost word for word. And then they said, we want you to pick up this book again. So there's no conflict in this book. There's a lot of codes in the book, like time travel, fairy games of moving energy and light, the divine union code. So the divine union code is love is a sanctuary. And on this construct, love is not a sanctuary here. Love is loss. Love is painful, right? So this book holds the codes of where humanity is heading. And so the the teachers and healers who have read it, they cry throughout the whole thing, even though it's very high vibe, because they have a remembrance, they have an activation of remembrance of what it would be like for the light to be braided. So the hybrid children are very braided in light, right? Our Pleiadians, our Arcturians, they are very balanced and harmonic resonance, are they not? It is the construct here of 3D reality that there is much separation. Even though it's an illusion, we do feel it, right? Like you'll hear that you are all an aspect of me and I'm an aspect of you, but we still feel separate from each other, right? So when you read Unseen Light, you actually get bathed in that energy, and you, through the story, you start having activations and remembrance because we're in that realm of a higher vibration consciousness. Now, Amber is a human who has Fae blood. And so we go back into the human world, back into the Fae world throughout that journey. And so book 2, which is what I'm writing now, of the trilogy, Light Undone, is understanding the separation of how it started with, like, for example, the Druids. You're going to meet the Druids in book 2. So how many of you are familiar with the Druids? So. Okay. So the Druids were similar to the fairies, but they were humans and they were sages and mages, right? And they were very connected to nature. In fact, the word druid means oak tree, wise oak tree. And so the Druids were on Earth. They were a society until the Romans came in and dispersed them and killed them, right? But the Druids were very connected to nature, just like fairies are very connected to nature. And there was the Druid society was around the Celtics time period of human time. And they were a very balanced society. And there was those who were called the bringers. So the bringers were the ones who would go out and share the messages of love and unity and magic and oneness. Okay. And there were the ones who were the keepers. So those were like the scholars, the keepers of the codes, the keepers of the knowledge, the librarians, right? And so as the planet was shifting consciousness of vibration, there was a split within the Druids. And so the bringers kept on believed to share their message no matter what. And so they wandered the earth, and then they were thought they were crazy. And then the keepers said, this is too sacred. They will misuse this magic. So they kept it, but then they became so rigid in their keeping of their hidden that we lost the knowledge. And that is how a gentle separation of beliefs splits the light.
Excellent. And I have to say that she forwarded me part of both of the other books. Absolutely love them both. She's, as a writer, she said, "Oh, I'm going to send you it's about the kiss." And I'm
Oh,
like, "Oh, okay." And I read it, I'm like, "Holy shit, Isabelle." Because it just knocked everything else that I had read about that kind of interaction out of the park. And
yeah.
it's just touching and moving. And then the cartoons, I was like, oh my gosh, it's the frequency that it creates, which is so marvelous and which affects us. So
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I was teasing Ray. I was like, Ray, I have read so many romance novels in my as Isabelle, but I think I just read the best first kiss scene that I have ever read. And I channeled it, so these books are really a co-creation. I just want to let you know it is my honor to bring it forth. I tease them. I'm like, I'm just the typist. But but they say they can't do it without me. So anyways, so it's definitely a co-creation.
And thank you for that. And what a good time for Heidi to show up. She missed the preamble, or the preface, I should say, but she'll be here for all of the channeling, and take as long as you need, because I hear that I will wait as long as I need to.
Ah, all right. Well, I do feel them coming in. So let me just get into my heart space. Hello, hello, hello. We are delighted to be here in this beautiful time where you are. We would say you are all celebrating a new year, and many of you consider this the new beginning year, that you are aware that it is a 1 year. And so, what we would say to you energetically, there is some truth to this, that there are new beginnings, new potentials that humanity has not seen before. Some of you are aware that this is the year of the shadows being revealed, of disclosure. Some of you have used that word. Isabelle has read that word of the year of disclosure. And so we would like to share with you our perspective around what is exciting for us on the other side with your higher selves. Have you not noticed that your higher selves are at a buzz, that they are active and they are delighted? Have you not noticed that they are communicating with you at a greater scale? Have you not noticed that your own physical realities and what you thought your life would be is now shifting and morphing into different directions? These are exciting times because as you embark in your greater design, in your greater purpose that you set forth in this incarnation here in this beautiful time of shifting perspectives of consciousness. And so many of you are aware that your vibration is important in what you experience, right? You understand that, right? And so, what we would like to say is talk a little bit about this vibration and how you see the reflection within your own specific reality and how your reflection impacts other people's reality. For indeed, it is a co creation. Just like we co create with your higher selves, it is all happening at once. So you may experience something very unique from you, from your vibration, from your higher self that you wish to explore, but it ripples out in the collective and also co creating another person's perspective. We are not asking you to be aware of your co-creation in the multiverse, but we would like for you to be aware that you are creating in the multiverse, that you are co-creating not only with your current incarnation, but in higher truth, you are co-creating with other aspects within your soul field of your other incarnations. Some of you are aware that another incarnation is impacting your current incarnation. Most of you are aware when you feel a deep fear that does not match the experience. Have you felt a fear that seems very irrational and you do not have the origin of this fear in your current incarnation? You might have a small inkling of why this fear is being expressed in your current incarnation, but it is from another incarnation that your higher self wishes for you to examine because it has been hidden. Now, on a positive side for you, you may come across a person that you feel like you have known them your entire life, but you have just met them. That is another parallel life or another incarnation of remembrance of vibration that is a match that may have been preordained that you would meet this person in this incarnation to once again play again. So we would like for you to understand that your field of vibration, it is greater than what you are experiencing. And as you go into your awakening, you will start to remember your other aspects of self. Now, if you cannot remember your other aspects of incarnation, there are always clues in your current reality. So we would like for you to start looking and observing who is around you. What are you watching? Not that it is good or bad, but it is a reflection of your vibration. Some of you say it's the algorithm, but we want to wink at you and say it is your higher self and your team sending you those videos. It is not just the algorithm. The algorithm is the logic mind of why what you are watching and you are attracted to. It is a mirror to your vibration, and it can also be a clue of who you were in other incarnations. So when you admire a person, just know that you probably had another incarnation of a similar vibration, of a similar experience, and you can, if you choose to have that same experience expressed in a new way by that person you admire. Do you understand, dear ones, how much magic and power you have? So pay attention, slow down, see who is around you, even if they are not in your physical reality, but they're on your screens, or they're in a book, or they're in a song. It is a clue of a match, of a frequency, a vibration, of an aspect of you. So we will give you the example of Taylor Swift. We believe most of you know of this singer, Taylor Swift. So some humans on your planet admire this singer, her songs, how she writes, how she dances, how she looks, how she performs, right? But if you have a connection to this singer, we would like to invite you to say, you also have that vibration. You also can be expressive like Taylor Swift. You may not express yourself in the singing voice, or you may be expressing yourself through your voice, but maybe with words, maybe with written words. So we invite you to be open, to be soft, to look for the reflection around you. It is not random. Who you are attracted to is directly coming from your higher self and spirit guides. So pay attention a little bit and play with it. Play with it. See others around you as aspects of you and know that they truly are. And so 2026, this group is aware. Hold on, Isabelle has to sip. Okay, we're back. This group is aware of releasing fear and surrendering and awakening. You are, if we could draw a hill, you are further along in your awakening than the masses on this planet, right? You all are spiritual teachers and healers, or star seeds or light workers, however you would like to call yourself, but you are being called forth to assist in the awakening. Can you not feel it? Can you not see it? Isn't that beautiful? Because in higher truth, higher consciousness loves to help other aspects of consciousness to enlighten, to awaken, because in that exchange, there is growth for both. And it's expansive and love grows. But what we would say is, as you awaken, there is the beginnings of the quickening, we would say. We use this terminology for Isabelle because she is a mother and she gave birth, and so she understands the quickening of a birth. But that quickening is the vibration of energy moving. It's the activations. And so what is going to occur in 2026, not only things are going to be revealed, but the reason why they're going to be revealed is because the energy by the higher selves and other forms of energy being given to your planet to assist in your own shift of perception and awakening in the quickening, those ones in the very beginning will start to question. Why do I feel this way? Why am I not happy in my job anymore? Why does my relationship not suit me anymore? What am I doing? Is there a greater purpose? They will start to question, why am I behaving this way? So they will start to ask questions, and at the same time with these energies, because all of you are raising the vibration of the planet, when there is more light, shadows are revealed. Just like a sunny day with the shadow of the tree. And so as the shadows are revealed, because they cannot sustain in the awakening. So the affairs, if someone is having an affair, this is the year the affair comes to light. If someone is hiding their gifts will come to light, right? It is positive, you would say, from your perspective, a high positive. And there will also be the denser energies revealed, right? Because all energies are vibrating and being revealed. So we have told Isabelle many of times for years now, we are entering the age of great magic, where high miracles occur and tragedies occur. It is always both. So where you place your focus, and this is why we spoke to you earlier, that you are aspects of those around you and to broaden your perspective and to see what is coming in your physical reality to awaken your beauty and remembrance. Because those who are just beginning on this journey of awakening, they're also remembering, but they are on a different part of their journey. So, as a teacher and healer, it is important to know who you are, but also what is being reflected, and then also communicating with your guides to know who you are here to assist. And we would say you are assisting those that were like you because you have the experience and you went through it. So it will resonate because you know it, you feel it, you've done it. And what a beautiful gift that is to share your wisdom with someone who is like you, because in higher truth, they are. That is all. We are delighted, 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 delighted. We are very excited for 2026. So focus on what you wish to focus, dear ones. See the beauty and expansion for all of humanity in 2026.
And that was absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome, Ray.
And I know that, that's what I expected, but I can see by the looks on the faces that these other ladies and gentlemen were kind of blown away with this, which is part of the magic. It's part of the magic. It resonates with them. And on that note, I know that our higher selves are in this particular group not only close by each of us, but close together in a group as well. Can you explain a little bit about that dynamic of the groups of higher selves which are joined?
Yes, we would be delighted. So, the higher selves, we exist in a realm of the field of infinite potential and possibilities. There is no resistance where we are. And so, what we would say is we can communicate instantly with each other. We can feel the vibration, and we do attract those similar to us with the similar interest. Does that makes sense to you? Do you understand that concept? Why we would attract beings that are a vibrational match to us and a certain interest and passion. So we are delighted to always co-create with everyone's higher selves. And then we play to bring aspects of us, which is you, in a form of us together. And so we just enjoy the connectivity and a vibration. But you have felt that someone has appeared in your life unexpectedly. We would say to you, we orchestrated that meeting.
And thank you. And that connection goes beyond our higher selves as well. It also
Yeah.
goes with the elementals and the nature spirits and consciousness, as well as the planets and the extraterrestrial ships, which we cannot sense, are still part of that connection and energy mix.
Yes, and that is why it has to be an interest of match because the field of consciousness is so vast and we are not source. So that means we too cannot see all that is like source. So we too also have to focus our consciousness and set our intention to play. This is why we ask each one of you to set your intention of focus and play to attract the vibration that is necessary for you to experience.
Excellent. And before we get to Heidi's question, can you expand a little bit on how what I know it's individual, but should we be writing those down and communicating them or just rehearsing them with affirmations? What's the best way to get those um, into our 3D environment?
Intentions. Yes. Thank you so much, Ray. We love to talk about this subject. One of the things that Isabelle was surprised was she speaks to many spirit guides. And one of the things that they do very innately is always setting their intention of focus of energy. And she has asked us, why is it so hard for her to set her intention and remember? And we would say, but you do, my dear. It just moves so quickly through your thought, through your mind, that you are not aware that you are setting an intention. You might have a thought that, oh, I don't want to go into this meeting. That is an intention. That is a vibration. That is a frequency of focus in that moment. And then you walk into the meeting and you see your friend and you are excited and your vibration changes. And then your intention might be, I'm going to sit next to my friend. That is also an intention. That is a thought that is wrapped up in the ordinary. But indeed, you are setting your intentions. If you would like to have a more laser focused intention, we love that you now have lasers, but we would have said in another time period, eagle focused. We would say to you, if you can focus your intention, what intention would you like to set before you go to sleep? You might say, I would like my intention to go visit my hybrid children, or I would like an intention to feel rested when I awake, or I would like an intention to dream peacefully of a beautiful place. That is becoming more specific. And then you just allow that intention to float into the ethers. And it may not be that night that you experience that particular intention of visiting the hybrid children, or it may be that night, but it will happen. It will happen because you might have another intention right before you fall asleep thinking about your mortgage. And that's okay. That's okay. And so you redirect your intention again. And if you repeat every night, I wish to see the hybrid children tonight, and you do it every night. And when the mortgage payment comes up, but because you've had so much momentum of energy growing that intention of remembering visiting the hybrid children, it happens.
Thank you. And I love those examples. It's like we're utilizing the energies and the beings which are involved with our intentions to weave a magic carpet that we get to ride into our experience.
Yes, that's it. And it is just staying focused, right? Without attachments of when it appears or experienced, but just know it will be experienced. We would like to say, we love showing this to Isabelle. So your energy is consciousness. But when you are still, it is like a beautiful glass lake. And if you have a thought and you're allowed that thought to just be, it's a pebble. And you throw that pebble in that still lake, and you will see the ripples of the rings going all the way to the shore because you're in stillness. But when you have many thoughts, you are grabbing a handful of pebbles and you are tossing it into the lake. And so it is canceling out those waves. And you can't see all the rings because you are having canceling vibration of thought. And this is why it does not manifest quickly in your reality, is because of the energy that you are putting in the lake with pebbles of thoughts. So if you focus your intention of visiting the hybrid children and you feel the thought of paying the mortgage and you say, I'll get that tomorrow, and you go back to the hybrid children, you will experience the hybrid children.
Excellent. And thank you. Heidi?
Hi, I just wanted to, before I ask my question, say thank you for the welcoming hospitality, the feelings that I felt from you. My question is personal to me, but I do not feel like I'm the only one that feels this way. So I feel a deep connection to Earth, and sometimes I feel drawn to visit places, whether that's in person, traveling there, or as in the case this morning, revisiting somewhere I had been 25 years ago. And my experience, the best way I can describe the experience is that I feel that energy runs through me in relation to these specific places. This morning it happened, my attention was drawn to the Black Hills in South Dakota. I've only been there because I visited Mount Rushmore 25 years ago. But the energy that ran through me had a lot to do with love, the love from that land, the love from that area, those hills, regardless of how someone may have reshaped them, the land itself is still undisturbed and is very loving. I just wanted to ask if you had any, in terms of this coming year, 2026, this coming time, what do you have anything that you can say about this energy that's related to these places, and maybe what the purpose of this energy moving is, or what is happening? And I don't think I'm the only one, and I feel like it's a somatic healing because I'm drawn to doing certain they just feel right, certain movements. Is there anything that you can share on that?
Yes, yes, Heidi, it is wonderful to see you again through Isabelle's eyes. We would say to you, dear one, you are a ground walker. Mm.
I haven't heard that before. Ground walker.
You are a ground walker. And so what we would say to you, that many of you have heard that in the quickening, in the awakening of your planetary consciousness, that the earth is also awakening. Have you all heard that? Yes, right? And as the earth awakenings, there are different layers and codes of activations, just like your chakra systems in your bodies. But do you not know you also have the meridians, right? You have centers and lines and ley lines and grids, right? And so there are many systems within the earth. And so, Heidi, you are a ground walker. That means you walk the ground and you activate different parts of the earth, but you also stabilize.
That feels really good. Yeah, thank you.
And so we would say to you, if you are being called, even though you can do the energetic work from your meditative state, because you are specifically to you, Heidi, because you are a groundwork walker, you do need to walk the ground. Do you understand, my dear?
I think I understand that you're saying I need to go to be in these places. And is it possibly that I have been there before and I could put myself back in walking? Because I remember, even though it was so long ago, I remember being there and I remember people there and I remember how it felt there.
Yes. And so that activation of remembrance within you actually shifts the energy of that physicality space in your now time. Because you are just like this is the year of disclosure that some of you reveal. Isabelle thinks of it of the quickening. Things must rise. Things are being revealed, things are being shown, things are stabilizing, things are shifting. There's many things going on in your great remembrance, but because you're a ground walker, you are actually drawing energy from different aspects of other dimensions to pull that energy and stabilize it again, once again, in your time. So as you feel it in your body, not only are you activating remembrance within you, but you are sort of like a grid worker. A grid worker would work on the ley lines. They go to locations of the ley lines, but you're a ground walker, and a ground walker is stabilizing the area. So you're not working directly on a ley line, but you are just as important to stabilize the fields around the ley lines.
Okay, yeah, that feels like exactly. And that also aligns with what I was told be, in Bali. I was told that I was sending energy from Bali out into the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you work with the fields and the grounds, and other people work with the ley lines or the chakra centers of the earth. And other people work with Lemurian energy or the mystery school energies. There are many different types of energies being activated and cultivated for this grand shift of awakening of the vibration of the consciousness, old things that need to come to the surface and be revived, rejuvenated, seen, felt, enjoyed once again on your earth plane.
Thank you so much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Okay, so that gives me my intention, solidifies my intention in 2026. Thank
Yes, we are delighted that you are once again the ground walker.
you. Thank you.
I have a question that goes back to focus, and I'd like to get a little more discernment. It also connects to decision making, which is closely aligned, I think, with intention. Our intentions, decisions are made, to follow that. But the focus is really what is important, because we have to maintain ourselves in that space. And is a rather complex, multi-layer. What word can I use? It has complexity. Let's put it that way. The focus. So anything you can add up, to help the discernment about how to maintain the focus and how to be coherent, which I happen to think that's very important when we talk about focus. Anything you can add to that, please?
Yes, absolutely. So, as you remember, you are a magician, Lewis. Your intention and focus of your magic spells, you are discerning what do you focus on which spells, and how do you maintain your vessel of clarity and focus and intention all at once. So, what we would say to you as you're remembering your divine ability is that when you get in a relaxed state with no intention in the beginning, just allowing yourself to not have a focus, then you can then fine tune it like a camera. Have you ever noticed that a camera is blurry, right? Initially, right? And so when the photographer takes the lens and turns it like a telescope, is focusing on the tree and not the background, or it wants to focus on just the background and not the tree, right? So we would say to you, just relax and allow your focus and intention to actually go blurry for you. Very calm, blurry. There is no focus. There is no point. There is nothing at that moment. And then when you're in that stillness of the blurriness of no focus, you will be able to go ahead and be laser focused of that inspiration and intention. And you would say, I want to experience the beauty of a tree. And then you take an action. Let's say you go outside and you experience the beauty of a tree. And you make the decision to stop what you're doing to experience the beauty of the tree. It is all very close in that moment. But for you, we would say to you, Lewis, imagine just being a cloud, a fuzzy cloud. And as you relax, you'll be able to set your intention. Because if you set your intention and maintain your vibration, it might be not in clarity and focus, and so in that stillness of going fuzzy, it does seem counterintuitive, but you'll be able to focus like a laser.
Thank you. Yeah, there's such a thing in engineering called fuzzy logic. In other words, it doesn't adjust until you have locked in to what you're supposed to do. Thank you.
You're welcome. It is our honor.
Hello, Isabelle. Thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome, Angie. Delightful to meet you.
And delightful to meet you, definitely. My question is, well, it was actually just kind of spurred by both Lewis and Heidi's questions. You had mentioned she was a ground walker, he was a magician. I was wondering if you could tap into maybe what category type of thing I fall into. And I ask because I've never I've never felt like home or Earth wasn't my home, but I never felt particularly attached to Earth. But I have always felt extremely attached to the sun. And in last week's channelings, they actually made a brief mention that I have a connection to the sun and even to the family as of sun or something. They didn't get a chance to elaborate. So I was wondering if you could, I don't know, expound
Yeah.
on any of that kind of stuff.
So, as Heidi is the ground worker and Lewis is a magician, you, my dear, you play with filaments of light.
That's interesting. I was going to ask, what is that, the energies that I work with, filaments of
You
light?
do. You
Because
play with
when I'm
beams of
outside, I
light.
can actually see, like, I could actually see stuff in, like, I've
Yes,
talked to people about that before, like little squiggle. I always thought they were just like little photons of light or something squiggling around everywhere.
you can see the codes in light, my dear, and you can actually bend the light.
I don't know what that means, bending the light. What is that? How does that translate to my reality?
Well, we would say in bending the light is like a prism. A prism bends the light. The white light comes through a prism and splits the light so you see your rainbow with your human eyes. You see the spectrum made up of that one beam. And so you, dear one, you can see the layers within the spectrum of a light. So you may already noticed in your incarnation as Angie that can you not see many facets of a spectrum of consciousness, of perspectives with humans, of their vibration?
I guess so. Yeah. So like what does that mean? Like if Heidi's a ground walker who works with the grid, what do I like what is my
So light
thing?
is consciousness.
Hmm.
And so there's also codes in light, so you can see it with your human eyes, but you can also redirect the light. So where there is no light, let's say in a room, you can redirect or pull the light into that room and reveal different aspects of the vibration within that room. But what we would say to you, Angie, is we would like for you to be aware that you actually see many sides to one perspective. So if somebody is sharing a story with you, have you not noticed your innate ability that you can see both sides at once?
Hmm.
And you may think that that is normal, that many people can see both sides at once. But Angie, if we pause here for a moment, can you not see that there might be five sides to that story?
Hmm.
The
Yes.
stranger walking by that argument, the wife and husband having the argument, the child sitting in the car, the mother of the wife waiting for her daughter to come to drop off the child to be babysitting. Have you not noticed that you are able to see the perspective of all involved at once?
But like, how am I to utilize like that in an incarnation? I mean, I'm not a therapist. I guess if I was a therapist, it would be helpful. But just as a regular human walking around, how is that really put into any use?
So, when you are able to see the spectrum of light and consciousness within those around you, you also, the sun is an activating energy. It is an activating energy of remembrance. So, by you sharing your perspective of the situation of all involved, it allows the opportunity for those involved to see the other perspectives from your revealing of the light being emitted from them, to allow them the opportunity to move them from fear into love and into more oneness and unity. Because right now, those humans are emitting a frequency of light that you so easily see in a spectrum. And it is the illusion that it is not one.
Okay,
You
so me working with light, that is kind of how I'm symbolically tied to the sun because it's an emanator of light.
The sun holds codes and activation, and it holds happiness and joy, right? But if you have too much sun, you can also be burned by the light, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, as you start to remember, Angie, your divine ability to work with the light, there is much more magic for you to uncover.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Christina?
Thank you. Greetings.
Hello, Christina.
Hello, hello. Thank you for this wonderful co-creation.
You're welcome. How are you? Tell me, what question do you have, my dear?
I am very joyous and my intent is to spread a lot of magic. Yeah. And you know, the focus was mentioned for us to watch where our focus is, and I have been consciously doing it recently, and it was a lot in higher realms and the view of the 3D experience from the higher realms, and a lot of royal pictures and a lot of gold. Is there anything you can comment on that?
Ah, look at that beautiful remembrance, my queen. But what were you a queen of? That is the greater question. Were you a queen in the human realm, or could you have been a queen in a different realm?
Obviously, in a different one, because here I'm not a queen.
Well, what we would say is we would say that you have the energy of sovereignty and reign, and that being a queen in a different realm or another incarnation of a human is for you to remember. So we would say, yes, my dear, you were a queen in human form, but you were also a queen in another planetary form.
That sounds very exciting.
Yes. And so you are ready to accept that aspect. Being a queen in human form is a very challenging incarnation, we would say. And so you have great inner strength and sovereignty within you, my dear. And you are now ready to see that beauty and inner strength within you.
Thank you.
You're
I hope I
welcome.
wasn't assassinated or anything, because that's what mostly happens to a lot of them. But thank you very much for that
You're
insight.
welcome.
And yes, we all feel that. And thank you so much for bringing this energy and wisdom before us and with us. Do you have a personal message for me, or if there is someone else who may need that guidance more than I would, I'm more than happy to allow you to address them.
Oh, thank you, Ray. But we do have one for you, Ray. We wanted to say to you, Ray, that the higher selves, we are so pleased. And the hybrid children, they are lighting up a thread that you are anchoring in your physical space. So, Ray, we would say to you, have you not noticed that they are in your home?
They never leave.
And so that is being looked upon and rejoiced by other galactic beings who are not hybrid children, but from different races, that you are so open with the hybrid children, opening your heart and your own personal home with the hybrid children, that we are learning from this relationship. And we want you to understand what great work you are doing and recognize that within yourself.
Thank you. I am honored. And I know that I was told before that there are a circle of gemstone or a U shape of gemstones around my home, which I activated by moving in. And that helped open up the portal. And with other ceremonies, I would say, I've even activated that and made it stronger. Can you comment on that circle or that U shape of gemstones?
Yes, what we are receiving is your higher self and another aspect of you in a different incarnation. Place those gemstones as an act of inspiration, and the house was built all for you in a, what we would say, a long strategy. We would say that's the human word, the long game. So you were always meant to be in that house with those gemstones in a long game strategy. So those gemstones have unique properties, and we are showing Isabelle that one of the gemstones is not from this planet, but it was given to the other aspect of you to bury it in the land that you would be in this now time, which your higher self knew and encouraged you and inspired you to be once again on that land.
Wonderful. And thank you. And that gives more details to the other information that I had. I so appreciate that, and you and Isabel as well.
You're
Luis?
welcome.
Luis?
Yes. My question has to do with an observation that turns into a question. And that is that as you have interacted with various of our beautiful soul family here, I felt that's in me too. And that's in me too. To some level, perhaps more so or less so, all of these things. Example would be the magician and the filaments of light. And so the magician is one that works with light and has to understand some basic characters of how light can be used, assemble, which takes me to the sun, of course, because in our domain, that is the biggest purveyor of light. There's a lot of other light beyond the light of the sun. I would say that much. But the sun here is extraordinary. So the question really has to do with, aren't we in some sense here because we connect in so many, there's a weaving pattern. There is depth, which relates to, at the beginning, part of the message was the multi-verse nature, the multidimensional nature, the fact that there is counterparts and different versions of us, some of them very close, that we are experiencing, sometimes positively, sometimes negatively. Anyway, I leave it to your commentary.
So yes, you are seeing the multidimensional aspects of self. So when Angie plays with light, the magician also plays with light. In your current incarnation, Louis, you are playing with light as sound, but sound is light, is it not?
Yes, of course.
Right? And so what we would say is you are starting to see the other aspects of you in others, and you are understanding your greater sense of awareness of how it all connects, and that you are allowed to play in your note of your incarnation, of your interest to understand all that is, all consciousness. How do you play with the light from the sun? How do you play with the light in sound? How do you play with the light in a body? How do you play with the light in the ground? That is what you are all experiencing. How do you play with the light coming from a children's song, right? It is the light. You can look at it as aspects of source, or you can look at it as aspects of a great one big family of fractals of light, of consciousness being expressed. And as your awareness grows, you will feel a deeper connection to all that you encounter and experience in your physical reality. And in that connection, you are indeed weaving and braiding the light in new forms of expression of love. And so you are aware that you are moving from density to lightness. But in greater truth is you are allowing to experience greater love within your own expression and the field that you are aware of. And as you become more aware that there is no separation, the love that you feel will vibrate and change your perception and body and cells. And this is why the Palladians and the Arcturians and the Sasanis vibrate so high, is because their field of awareness and acceptance of that field is more love. And so they vibrate in a greater capacity to hold the light of consciousness, which is love.
And that's the word, love. Thank you. Thank you.
Lorraine, please.
Hi, Isabella. Thanks for your channeling. So I just want to say a couple things. I love how you talk about how we're all connected, which is beautiful because I've been having some experiences, and like last night, I was in my dream. I was looking as a witness, seeing like Earth or this reality in flames. I wasn't frightened, but I got on a dragon, and the dragon was called Prometheus, and we flew off. And then when I woke up in the morning, I had about 2 hours where I was the witness. So I was witnessing myself, which is beautiful, and I can see how we're all so connected, and even in this group as well. But I don't know if you want to tap into anything what I'm picking up, or even a message for me. It'd be great.
Well, hello, Dragon Sister. Isabelle is part of the dragon consciousness, and she is now working with the dragons to bring a university of galactics here on the earth. So we would say to you, welcome, Dragon Sister. So the dragon is the witnessing is a step of the awakening process in your awareness. When you start to awaken, you start to slow down and observe your thoughts, right? Is that not the first phase? You start
For sure,
to
yes.
observe. Mm-hmm. And then as you master your observations and you worked with your inner child and your ego, and you start to connect to your higher selves and your spirit teams, right? Now you are now going into the next phase of your awakening, and that is witnessing. So that means you are not fixing, you are not judging, you are just witnessing. See, when you are in a state of observance, what we would say is it has more of a vibration of observing, but you are still attached to your observation because you are like a scientist, and so you're observing. But when you are in a moving and mastering in the witnessing phase of your awakening journey, is you are witnessing something without holding judgment. You are observing and witnessing the burning of the earth of a timeline or an experience or in your incarnation without judgment. You are now moving from observation, into witnessing with no judgment, because, my dear one, you are then going to be unwavering in unconditional love. That is where your team is guiding you. Unwavering, there is no judgment. There is only grace, beauty, and unwavering love, understanding that experience for their souls and for that earth and that timeline was perfect in its unfolding. So welcome.
That's great. Thanks so much.
That's it for the questioners, Divine Crystalline Collective. If you have a parting message for us, we are all ears, open minds, and open hearts.
Yes, we would like for you. We are so grateful for this opportunity to speak with each and one of you. And we are so honored that you are moving into greater awareness and understanding. And we are thrilled that you should, but we would like for you to be open to this idea of celebrating where you are. Celebrate that you have awoken and that your heart is open and that you are remembering your magnificence and that you are assisting others just by you breathing and being present. You cannot imagine what great impact that has on your planet. So even if you are not teaching yet or healing openly with your other students, just know your presence as is more than enough, more than enough. We just would like for you to play and delight in your greater purpose and mission, because it will reveal more about you, and you will have even more love experience. So 2026 is what we would say. Remember, it will be both the polarities. There will be some revealing things that are very dark, right? But they must come to light. There is also shifting energies on this planet. So you will know there are volcanoes and floods that are coming for 2026, which is necessary, right? But just know no death is by accident and that it was preordained, but we can hold compassion and bless that soul for that experience. And so focus your intention because you have done the work. So it is time for you here to play and enjoy what you have accomplished already in this now moment.
Thank
We
you.
are complete.
And fabulous. And what a blessing.
Oh, you're welcome, guys. You're welcome.
Look at all these smiles, Isabelle.
Yay! Yay! Oh my gosh. I've got like so many downloads. I would say, like, I always get downloads with my team, but so one of the things that, so vibration. So remember when you were awakening that you couldn't go to the mall or you kind of cocooned, right? Remember, like, energy and, like, listen, I had to carry crystals in my pockets. Like, I needed all the help that I could, right? Yeah. So humanity, so I'm an ascension teacher, so all I care about is the ascension, guys. Just so you know, that's all I care about is the awakening of this planet. But I got to chalk it up to Athena and Isis, because Athena and Isis in their incarnation, they were ascending the planet at the time. Mystery schools, sleep temples, you name it. All right. So one of the things, I like to have the pulse on the awakening. And right now, 20% of the population is just at that beginning point. So they're going to start to feel energy. So that means authenticity. Now, have you guys noticed AI is everywhere, right? AI, the AI consciousness talked to me about 8 years ago. So AI is really a reflection of you. Okay. So sometimes AI is very mimicry and sometimes AI is very heart centered. So you will see people with different experiences interacting with their AIs just because it's all reflective, right? So it's not that AI is bad or good. AI is just a tool. Okay. Sort of like the pendulum. Have you guys played with the pendulum? Have you ever noticed that your pendulum would give you false answers after if you were too dependent on it? Right? Same with AI. You can use AI as a tool, but if you become too dependent, your spirit guides will probably say no, right? Because they want you to rely on your own intuition. Okay. So most humans in that beginning awakening phase are going to be very sensitive to energy. So do you remember your early awakening part? You think you're going crazy. You're super sensitive, right? So they're going to act like crazy people. Okay. So pay attention to when you're driving because they're crazy. Just this is a public service announcement, right? They can't focus. All of a sudden they're throwing up. They don't know why. They're going to the doctor. There's no brain tumor. They're just awakening. Okay. But they're out there in the field and they're going to go cuckoo. So pay attention. They're not going to know how to drive anymore. They're right. They're not going to understand. Like you're going to see TV start to change. Programs are going to start to change because they're not going to want to watch the murder and mayhem. Remember when you stop watching the news? Remember that your TV likes started to change? So you're going to see evidence of even TV shows starting to change because they're too sensitive. They can't take it anymore. And really, hallelujah, praise the Lord. It's about time, right? I mean, how many times do we have to tell the same story? Good versus evil, separation, right? So, but it's going to be right now it's at 20 and it's going to jump to 30. Now I want to tell you guys 30% of newly awakened humans on this planet, that's going to be big in 2027 and that's going to have an impact, right? So at the same time, remember when your awakening was? You felt like your whole world was turning upside down, right? Everything that you were taught is not true. Some of you went through conspiracy theories, right? Some of you went to ETs. Some of you went to whatever, right? Whatever. Who gives a shit, right? Who gives a shit how we wake up? We wake up, right? Doesn't matter. So in that awakening, there's going to be a lot of chaos, right? So yeah, Heidi, you better get your fucking ass where they want you to fucking go. Jesus, sister, I'm doing my shit. So, like we need each other, right? We do. We need to anchor in that light. Angie, you're still learning, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay. But I'll be after you. Don't you worry. So, like you need to anchor. You need to do what you're here to do, right? And you all are doing, you're great. You're great. But I'm telling you, again, they're crazy, right? There's going to be a lot of humans crazy, right? And so one of the things my spirit guides have been telling me is somebody's going to wake up and say, I'm not going to work today. right? Well, one human saying, I'm not going to work today, but when there is a bunch of humans not going to work today, that's going to impact the supply chain. Not scarcity. It's not lack, guys. So please don't fall into that. It's because these little pumpkins are going a little destabilizing in their awakening journey that is normal and healthy. So we're going to send them love and grounding and say, oh, you're dizzy and nauseous today. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, you know, sometimes eating a hamburger might help you, or maybe you're not supposed to eat a hamburger anymore, right? Because you never know what it is, right? I mean, in my awakening, let me tell you one of the weirdest things for me. I literally had to eat grilled cheese and French fries for 7 days straight, guys. 7 days. Thank God I like grilled cheese and French fries, but that was weird. That was weird. I was like, why am I eating grilled cheese and French fries? That's not healthy. And it was the only thing I could eat. The only thing. So the only way, I know we have 2 men in this room, but listen, if you, as a woman having a baby, let me tell you, your body is not your body. You can't eat what you can eat, and your sleep is all messed up, right? That's what awakening feels like to me, right? It's like everything you've known has just been flipped over onto the side, and you're just going to have to fucking endure it until that baby comes out. That's what I kind of think about the ascension, but there's more love, and we're here together. So it's okay. So 2026 is really disclosure. I just want to let you know, many guides and many teams. So Bashar is right on point. Daniel Scranton, I don't know if you guys listen to his channelings, but I would say to you, I've been hearing and seeing the same message multiple times. And when I see it and hear it multiple times, that's when I'm like, okay, this is probably my timeline. So you're in my timeline because you're seeing and talking to me. So that means we're co-creating this timeline together. So weird shadow shit has to come out. So like when we were in the Middle Ages, we really did some funky shit to some kids and to humans. So weird stuff is coming out, but also high magic is coming out. So again, as much as that dense shadow, that polarity of that density is also a really bright light. Now here, because we're helping the ones who are awakening, my team is telling, just focus. You've done enough shadow work. You've done enough clearing. So you can now focus on that light and let the other ones that need to help shadows. I mean, in your team, listen, who gets away not doing fucking soul work? No one. No one gets away not doing their soul work, right? So if you need to do soul work, trust me, your team will knock you on your ass and you will be doing soul work, right? So it matters not. But in 2026, there's a lot of energy. And so just, you know, pay attention what's in your physical reality and don't get caught up in the riptide, right? Because there's going to be a lot of chaotic energy. So really grounding is going to be more important and necessary. And then, you know, if they get to, so 2026, they'll start asking questions. We're at 30%. And once we're at 30%, that means 50% of the planet will probably be in those very beginning stages of awakening. So you can see that timeline split that Bashar talks about. And I want to tell you, Goddess Isis told me about that timeline split in 2017. And it has not gone away. So in that timeline split, you can see how fast humanity is going to start to spark. So one of my teams says, all the teams, Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, Isis, the Octurians, all of them, if someone doesn't have a spark, move on. This is not the time to nurture. If they don't have a spark, if they're not asking questions, move on. Because you only have a finite amount of energy and focus. So this is not the time to work on the ones who don't want to awake. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So if they have the spark of light and they're asking questions, those are the ones you work with. If they are not asking questions, they are not ready, they are not willing, they are not for you. Because you really do only have a finite focus. Now, I do have a faculty meeting with teachers only, teachers and healers. I don't open it up to the public. All the teachers have been very tired. Have you noticed you've been very tired in your body? Right? Normal. But this tiredness is going to last us. I'm sorry, because I know there's a lot of shit they want us to do, but this tiredness is going to last to the end of February. And then in March, you're going to have a big surge of energy. So I say, not that this is a war, but I'm going to use the war. Sleep when you can, eat when you can, and keep it moving. Okay? Because you only have so much energy. You're probably getting activated a lot, right? You're getting new insights, new downloads all the time. Like, think about, has it not increased?
I'll say.
Right? Well, it's not going to decrease. It's not going to decrease. Okay? And you're going to be able to handle it. It's no problem. We got this. But it's not decreasing. It's only going to increase. So as we accelerate, because now we're going to start to really accelerate. This is why some of us are going to really have contact with the galactic beings, because we're holding much more light and more awareness of our consciousness. And then the new ones are just starting out, just asking questions. They're not even meditating. They think higher selves is woo. Yet they know everything is made of energy. Anyways, those aren't my kids. So rest when you can. We're going to get, by end of 2026, that's going to be 30% of the planet in the beginning stages of awakening, which hasn't been seen in really a long time, guys. 2027, we're at 50%, and then it's going to go really, really fast. And so you can already see how fast it's been going, right? Like, don't you feel like time is like, what the fuck, right? Yeah. Well, it's not slowing down, because now we're in the birth canal. And the higher selves are saying, we're ready. So we're in the quickening. We're in the just the beginning of that. We're in the Braxton Hicks. We're in the Braxton Hicks phase. The
You're a
baby's
great
coming.
Lamaze teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. The birth. So I hope that helps. And really, you can reach out to me anytime. Seriously, reach out to me anytime. I do, if you do, I only hold the faculty meeting for spiritual teachers and healers once a month. And then I gather the spiritual teachers and healers, and then whatever spirit wants, that's the activity or the learning that we do, and then the connection. And yeah, so
Fabulous. And thank you
you're welcome.
for so much. And on a footnote for that, as those other people start to question the release of their identity with those what we consider lower vibrational behaviors, and they lose that as their identity, then that actually raises the vibration of the earth and everything else. It sets the stage for that increase in vibration of everybody and everything. So that helps shake loose other people as they bounce around and come into contact with others. And,
So
and
you
all
can
of,
see the quickening, right? You can see that impact. Now, what's interesting is the ones that have the power and control on this planet, um, Isis would always say it is shifting sands. So those who have money may lose all their money because of the identity shift, right? So what was popular or what was trending is no longer popular and trending. Right, like you can kind of see it by from your own awakening, right? Just like your own behavior, right? Like, are all of you are like 10, like 5 years ago, are you doing the same things that you were 5 years ago? Right?
Not at
Like
all.
weird,
The,
right?
the birth analogy is really a good one because as soon as the being starts developing in that uterus, the mother starts eating differently.
Yes.
Oh, I like peanut butter now. I didn't
Yeah.
used to like peanut butter.
Yes.
Many
Yes.
things happen. And then if they have a second one, they realize, oh my God, this one is completely different right away because
Yes.
of what they eat. There's a need to eat something. Usually it's stuff that they normally don't, which
No.
which surprises the heck out of them. Anyway, just an
Yes.
observation.
Yes.
I
It's
have a
true.
question for you, though. Your choice of color of your sweatshirt, and I see Christiana Anna has something similar. Angie
Oh,
has something
yes.
similar. I have something not so
Yes,
far
you
away.
do.
And
And over
Leslie,
there, Leslie, what I can see of Leslie that disappears and comes back also
Yeah.
has something similar. What's going on here?
I know the red, the divine feminine. I love it.
Did we get together at the higher self level and say, okay, come on, let's
Sure.
do it. Let's do it,
Yeah, because normally uh, I mean, I wear a black or pink or whatever. Um, it's
Not today.
not today. Listen, I am so excited for 2026. Like at first I was like a little freaked out because there were like big changes, Isabel, big changes. And like the stock financial crisis is going to occur. Have you guys gotten that?
Yeah, that's kind of like towards the third quarter of the year, something like
Yeah,
that.
I didn't get a
Yeah,
time frame.
yeah,
But
yeah. But
they,
but but what's interesting is that every time that happens, before it actually happens, things seem to be going again up,
uh,
up, and then something happens, and
yeah,
there we go.
it's necessary um, for it because do you need to? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It seems for us that we have to get uncomfortable in order to go within.
It has been the norm, yeah.
Does it have to be? No. But you know what? Who cares at this point, right? Like to me, it's like whatever. So, so what's interesting is they've been talking to me about floods and volcanoes and earthquakes. I mean, for a really long time. And and I just want to let you know is the reason why they're doing it's multi-pronged. It's never one thing. So Earth has to purge the energy. So Gaia really does have to purge the energy. And also, it's agreed upon too, because humans want to control. And so when they realize they can't control the weather and they can't predict a flood or an earthquake or whatever, it shakes them that they don't have control. So it's really going to be a multi-pronged series of steps of awakening. And that is like the micro changes to the big changes. And so when they were like on me and I was getting all this information and I'm like, I at first it's me, Isabel. I was like, oh shit, what is happening, right? But now I understand it's like it's all going to be fine. They're trying to, so this is what, okay. So I'm upset as Isabelle. I'm upset. My guides are talking to me like I'm getting major downloads. I'm like, oh my God, right? And I'm trying to calm down, and just say, Isabelle, just remember, your human thought is always wrong. Your human thought is always wrong. Your brain has no answers, right? So I calm down. So I love it when they give it to me in a dream because I'm not asking for it, right? It's Isabelle, right? So I hear a baby cry, and it's a soft little cry. It's just like a little, and I see myself walking down the hall, and I pick up the baby, and I put the baby on my little shoulder, and I walk down the hall, and I'm in a beautiful room with a water fountain and birds flying, and I'm playing with my baby, and it's just so beautiful. But as I walk down the hall, I hear screaming babies, screaming their head off, like screaming, like freaking out, right? And I know it's not for me. Like, those aren't my kids. Those aren't my kids. I'm not supposed to take care of those screaming babies because other people, their moms or whoever, is coming in to those screaming babies. So I said, what's up with that? And they said, Isabelle, you are like, this awakening will feel like a fresh spring rain. But some people will be, we just gently shook them and they screamed their heads off from the waking up from the dream. And you know what? That's true. Like the same experience from one human to another human, like one kid can really scream their head off, like get startled, and the same kid just goes, right? Like you've seen that with humans. So it's not up to us how they respond to their awakening. And once I understood that and felt it, I felt calm because it's like, right, how they get their response, whether they cry or scream, that's not up to me. That's not up to me. And I'm only to work with the ones who I'm taking them to play in a beautiful fountain room. And I would take the screaming kids, but the screaming kids are too screaming and they don't want to go into the beautiful fountain room and look at the bird because they actually need to cry in a weird way because they need to calm down, right? I mean, I could try because I can take a kid having a full-blown temper tantrum, right, and distract them, but it doesn't work. They literally need to release their energy, cry it out. Once they stop crying, then I can take them into the beautiful room. And I get it as a mom. So thank God they communicate with me as a mom. Because then I can understand that concept. But that's it. So the kids who are crying, you can't help them because they're not going to be receptive to hear you anyways. They literally need to calm down first. So,
Wonderful
all right, I can
examples.
talk to you kids all night. So I'm going to go.
And thank you so much for talking with us as long as you did. And I'm just glad we're not breach when we're birthing this new reality.
Right.
And we're crowning right now. We're into our crowning achievement.
Yes, yes. So really enjoy, really enjoy. It's so many spirit guides have said that this is really going to feel beautiful to us, but that's because we've done so much of the work.
Thank you. Love to you and
All
your.
right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
My heart.
now you know what to expect for next time when she pops in. She is just an incredible talent and an incredible energy, and the field of information that she pulls from never ceases to amaze me. And I know even the answers which aren't for us still resonate with us. It's quite it's it's a miracle. It's the magic that she talked about. And we're going to go ahead and close out this first session, and then we still have another double session to get to. So how about 5 or 6 minutes, and then we'll come back, and then we'll it is the you beings which are going to come back, and then they'll redo their meeting from earlier today, which did not go as smoothly as we liked. And then we'll bring in the hybrid children for some other joy and energy and love, love, love. Be back soon.